Hello everybody, this is War Doctor. Welcome to Operation Failsafe, turn 7.6. This is U.S. Pacific Command's turn. So let me just roll right into it. So I have one piece of housekeeping. The last turn there was a fairly complicated battle down here in P45. And in order to legally do the move that he did, Knights Templar would have had to pay off the 10 damage I had previously put on this shipyard that sits in Cambodia. So retroactively, we are doing that in order to make this turn kosher. And in order to pay for that, he is taking 2 frigates and a destroyer off of his build from P8 in port in Vladivostok. And that will put 2 IPP back on his board for the end of turn. And that will be the end of housekeeping. Okay, so brings us to planning phase. So in order to do any of the stuff I want to do in my turn, I likewise have to pay off quite a bit of damage. So 12 damage total spread across 3 facilities in Guam, in the Philippines, and the eastern port facing P8, or yard facing P18 in Japan. So that is done. All right, let me just give you a quick look over at everything up here. So, as we saw, we're in turn 7. This is where I see the IPP of everybody. And tech, both the Soviets and the United States advanced some key technologies this turn. For me especially, the completion of advanced SLBMs puts PAC in a very good strategic nuclear position. Now I can, if we escalate further, shoot 4 weapons a turn, which is good news. All right. So rolling right on into my buy. I have a fighter remaining and a SAM that I'm purchasing. I will produce 2 anti-ship missiles, 2 cruise missiles, and I'm going to save 1. I'll just get these guys out of the way. Okay, combats. I have a few here, so let me try to arrange this so you can see them all. All right, so I am attacking East Malaysia in an attempt to recapture it from this Marine here. And in order to do this, we're going to bring the fighter from Singapore 1-2 into the fight. This airborne, we'll take an airborne assault 1-2 into there. One of these SSNs in P36 will be firing a single cruise missile from my dashboard. I have 2 this turn, so 1-2 on into here. And finally, the strategic bomber over in Guam, slightly off camera here, but he'll go 1, 2, 3, 4 to join by carpet bombing. All right. That gets us attack number 1. All right. Second attack is on the, get this here, the major shipyard in Vladivostok. I'm going to be taking the other nuclear attack submarine here in P36, going 1, 2, 3 up to here, and firing a nuclear cruise missile into there. At the same time, from Sapporo, you can barely see him, this SRBM, for the very first time in the game, the PAC-1 is going to fire 1, 2. I don't have a marker for it, so I'm just going to use this little damage marker. Overly hopeful, I know, but there it is. All right, my third combat move, it's not really an attack, is I'm separating. So we have these Chinese subs. Captain G moved in here that went on silent running along with mine. And their turn. This diesel electric in P45 is coming off silent running and staying put. The other major attack is in Vladivostok. So starting from Guam, we are going to have our B1 move 1, 2, 3, 4, and he will fire his 2 allotted missiles. The AGM-69, which is the paving strike weapon, let me move up a little bit so you can see this, will fire at the SAM in there. And then the AGM-69 will be going after, or 86B will be going after everything else. Joining them, along with a spy satellite, also from Guam, will be my attack bomber. And he'll be pretty close to the maximum of his range, so I'm going to get a little die to remind everybody of this. He will be moving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 into the land zone to do a surgical strike, joined by the fighter here. 1, 2, 3. He'll have plenty of range to get back. Knights Templar elected not to scramble the fighter that is in here, and he's choosing to put his SAM on missile defense rather than try to kill the aircraft. Okay, moving on my list. I have 2 more combat moves, but they're not, strictly speaking, combats. They just involve combat movement. So there's this little teeny slotted line here where you can go from P-18 to P-17. I am shifting the patrol of this ASW helicopter there, and I am shifting the one from P-10 down to P-18. And that concludes combat movement. So, let me get some dice tray here. You can see it. So I'm going to start with the attack into East Malaysia. So I'm hoping this will go really quickly, but let's see. All right. So in first strike, we have a cruise missile, 5 or less. 3, that's a hit. That's all I needed. So the Marine is dead. Cruise missile goes away. And we retake East Malaysia without any muss or fuss. Okay. Now, second, let's do the interception roll for the cruise missile. Just want to make sure I get this right. And the SRBM. The SRBM, I believe, does either 2, 3, or 4 damage. Yes, okay. If it gets through, but I have my doubts either will get through. So let's see what happens. So since this is a major facility, Knights Templar's yard gets 2 shots at each of the 2 missiles coming in. So we'll see how this goes. And wow, he gets no interceptions. So this is just straight damage. Okay, so starting off with the nuclear, that is a 1d6. That's 5. And then 2 more damage. So we're going to mark 7 damage on the yard here. And I will take this off now, get rid of these, and do a handy little marker on top so that we know which one is damaged. Okay, so there's that. 7 damage on the shipyard up here. Okay. Now, all right, so the AGM-69 is the next thing we would roll for the surgical strike. So everything here is going to be target select, but the AGM-69 is a special unit in that it is fired first and can either prevent a scramble, which is not what happened here, or it can take out a SAM unit on a roll of 6 or less. So we'll see whether we get lucky here as well. And we did. Okay. So the AGM-69 takes out this SAM. So now these missiles and the attack bomber are all unopposed. So I'm going to roll 6 dice here. I'm going to make the greens be the attack bomber at 7. The reds are going to be 5s. Okay, so that's a miss. We have 2 7s on the green, a 5, and a 2. So that is 4 hits. So I will select, well, that's everything. So, okay. So we're taking out all of these units, leaving just the fighter in Vladivostok. Okay. I hope I got that right. All right, collecting these back to go on my dashboard. All right. So that is the end of my combats. All right, get the dice tray out of the way here. All right, non-combat moves. I have a few here, and they're mostly concentrated down this way. All right, so from, try to make sure this is right. All right, so from the now repaired yard in P-18, I'm going to take the amphibious assault ship, which will load this air cav and this marine. They will move 1 down to P-29, pick up the other marine, which apparently has a sticky bottom, and then they will finally move into port in Taiwan. Put a marker on that. And they will join the U.S. force in Taiwan. Here. So, that's the first. Secondly, I'm going to move my cruiser from Bonin in P-19 next to Bonin Island, 1, 2, 3 to P-37. This frigate will come out of port as well. P-2 will go 1, 2, 3 down to P-37. And I will leave those guys out of port, I think. Okay. The attack bomber, which has a total of 2 movement left, is going to fly, get rid of that die, is going to fly to Sapporo 1, 2, which has a U.S. airbase. The Air Superiority Fighter will go 1, 2, 3 back to Tokyo. The B-1 is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 back to Guam. Down here, this Air Superiority Fighter in Singapore is going to go 1, 2 into Philippines. This fighter is going to go 1, 2 back to the extent of its range, back to Singapore. The B-52 is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 back to Guam. Okay, just making sure I am getting all of these lined up. Okay, I have some sea lifts. So from my task force in Guam, I have a a light infantry and a SAM that I'm going to take off the island. They will sea lift 1, 2 into Philippines. Stand this guy up. Okay. I'm going to sea lift the American Light Infantry that is in Taiwan, which is my last sea lift, out of Taiwan. 1, 2, 3 into Singapore. I'm going to airlift a light infantry from Okinawa into the Philippines using the 1 available airlift slot. Okay. I'm going to redeploy the... Actually, I don't think I have to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It doesn't matter. He's just going to fly to Guam, this attack bomber that was sitting on West Coast. And just let me look around. I think that is everyone that needed to move. I'm pretty sure. Yes. Okay. So, let me move on to my unit placement. All right, so I'm going to build my SAM in Singapore. My fighter is going to build in the Philippines. And my remaining materials will just go on my board. So here we go. So I'm back to 2 cruise missiles. I now have 4 anti-ship missiles, since I did not fire any this turn, unlike turns prior. Okay. So, end of turn phase here. Collect income. I saved 1, and I am currently hovering at 28. Minus the 2 oil tankers that I still have not been able to repair. I will collect a cool 24. So I will just get rid of this guy. I will roll into next turn with 25 IPP to spend. And that, I think, is all the news that is fit to print here in the Pacific Theater of Operation Failsafe. So, hope you enjoyed. This is War Doctor, signing off.